So you're wondering how to work out like Bryson DeChambeau. You've seen him on the PGA Tour, you've seen the massive drives, and you want to hit something similar. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to work out like Bryson DeChambeau. What's up, gentlemen? Welcome to Muscular Style, where we talk about all things lifestyle for the muscular man. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how to work out like Bryson DeChambeau. Now, this is not his workout, but we are going to talk about how to work out specifically for golf. You are going to add a lot of strength if that's what you need, or we're going to take the strength that you already have and we're going to make it more explosive for golf. So before I jump in here, there are two groups of people we're going to be talking to, and there will be timestamps down below so that you can jump around. The first group of people are dedicated golfers. You're the ones who landed on this video. You know who Bryson DeChambeau is, and you want to train like him. So you might have, less than a year's worth of experience in the gym, seriously. And so we're going to be talking about how to add mass, how to add strength, and really how to apply that to your golf game. The other group of you have been lifting for at least a year in the gym. Now, you're able to bench your body weight, you're able to squat 1.5 times your body weight, as well as deadlift 1.5 times your body weight. If those parameters fit you, you're gonna wanna jump to the second part of this video because that's going to be more applicable for you. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So you haven't hit the gym seriously, or maybe you've taken a long break off. So what Bryson has done is he's actually built up a lot of muscle mass and strength in a short period of time. Now, he did it in a compressed period, and so he ended up putting on a lot more fat than maybe some of you want to put on. I know that's a concern, and we will make sure to address that. So we're going to talk about your training, we're going to talk about your nutrition, and then we're going to talk about general health hygiene. And each of those do play a crucial role, so please don't skip any section of this if you do want to increase that golf game. First off, let's talk about training. Now, when you're new to the gym, training is very, very productive. You have what are called newbie gains, and basically, no matter what you do, you are going to grow. But we're going to take, maybe moderate results as far as newbie gains are concerned, and we're going to increase them exponentially and make sure that you're making the best gains possible in the gym. Your routine is going to be quite simple. We're going to work out 3 days a week, we're going to do 4 exercises, and we're going to do 3 sets per exercise. I will have this listed above, and I'll also have a link down below that you can go to my website and download the actual workout if you want. But really, you just want to make sure that we are squatting, we are pressing, we are pulling, and we are hinging. So for the exercises for this, for an example, you can swap these out if you really want, but we're going to squat, we're going to push press, we're going to row with a barbell, and then we're also going to do RDLs. Now, I do want to explain how to do each of these as well as what each of these are. I will have resources in that link down below. If you download it, it'll have a link to different YouTube videos that you can go watch. What is a squat? What is a push press? What are each of these lifts? That way you're doing each of these properly. I do not want you getting hurt. But the setup on this is we're going to be doing 3 sets of each of these exercises. So you're going to start with squat, and before you even get to the squat, you need to warm up. So hit, the bike, the treadmill, whatever it is that you prefer, just to get a light sweat going. Typically what I'll do is I have a stationary bike, I'll hop on it for about 5 minutes. That's not usually enough to get me to a light sweat, but then I do very light sets of squat, and typically I'm doing 5 to 10 sets before I get to my working sets. And I'm doing that so that I can warm up, so I don't hurt my knees, I don't hurt my back, and I am able to do the workouts properly without getting hurt. Now, each of these sets we are going to be taking to failure, so you're going to want to make sure that you have something that is able to catch the weights for you. So if you look here, you can see my power rack. I have pins on either side, and so when I squat down to the bottom, if I get stuck, all I have to do is let go of the bar and hop out. The squat rack will hold it for me, and for at least the squats, you need to make sure you have access to something like this. For the push press, for the rows, for the RDLs, you're not going to really need these. So each of these 4 exercises are going to be done in a specific way. So once you've gotten warmed up, you're going to be doing 3 sets. And those 3 sets are going to be done in what's called a reverse pyramid fashion. Don't worry about the terminology. Really all this means is you're going to do a set of 6, and you're gonna go till failure. On the squat, maybe you'll go till you have like 1 rep left. But if you're going to do a set of 6 to failure, once you've done that, you're gonna take 10% of the weight off, and you're going to do a set of 8. After you've done a set of 8, you're gonna take another 10% off, and you're going to do a set of 10. Now, After you've done your squat, so you've done your 6, you've done your 8, you've done your 10, then you'll move to the next exercise. So you move to the push press and do the exact same thing. So I am going to explain briefly how to do these. These are not a full overview on how to do these lifts properly. So if you don't know how to do these, please use YouTube, go find these videos, and make sure that you are squatting and doing these things safely. I'll also put links below to each of these exercises. That way you're able to go watch and see how to do these properly. I hope you're liking this content so far. If you are, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down below what other golf content you want to see from me on this channel. First, the back squat. Now, if you've watched that video below, you know what to do, but there are a few things that I want to note here. Often when you haven't lifted before, getting down to the proper depth in a squat is quite difficult. Your ankles are tight, your knees are tight, your hips are tight. You've been sitting a lot, so these things haven't experienced a full range of motion for quite some time. So what I need you to do is make sure that you are squatting as low as you can without hurting yourself. Do not let your lower back round, don't make any weird movements. If it doesn't feel athletic, you're probably not performing an athletic movement. So what I want you to do is focus on stretching and getting as low as possible and then going back up. For some of you, that may mean you're only using the barbell because you can't go deep enough. For others, you may need a little bit more weight, but I want you to start light. You want to start light, and I want you to use proper movement, and that way you're able to really progress in this instead of getting hurt by using a weight that you're not really ready for. So the goal here is to get to a squatting depth below parallel. We want to really make sure that you're getting a full range of motion, and this will help you do a few things. First, you're going to avoid injury on the golf course as well as in the gym. And second, the longer your range of motion is, the better you're able to build muscle and the better you're able to build strength. And so we want you squatting as deep as we can and work you into squatting very deeply over the next few months. The second move is the push press. Now, typically what's done is we'll do a bench press instead of a push press, but for golf, we really want that shoulder strength and stability as well as the core strength and stability. So in my opinion, the push press is a much better option than the bench press. So a few tips here. The first, I do suggest that you have a heeled shoe. If you don't have an Olympic weightlifting shoe, which I'm assuming most of you don't, there's a very simple solve here. All you need to do is take maybe 2.5 pound plates or 5 pound plates and put them under your heels. That way your heels are elevated. If you are willing to invest into some weightlifting shoes, I'll put a link down below for a couple of pairs that I really enjoy. They are worth the investment. I have several pairs, so if you are ready to jump into this fully, I would suggest those, and you can also use those on your squats. Now, the thing to know here about push press is you want to engage your core as much as possible, so flex like someone's about to punch you in the stomach before you start the lift. You are going to do that quarter squat like the video that you watched before and press up and then make sure you catch the weight. The two things that are really important to remember are one, brace that core always, and two, make sure you do have a lift on that heel because that helps with better positioning of your spine and helps you to keep from getting hurt. The third lift we're going to be doing is a pendulum row. This one is fairly simple. You're going to have the barbell in front of you and you are going to have a flat back and you're just going to row it up to your chest, again like that video below. There's not really any tips I have here except make sure your back is flat. We don't want to be hurting that low back, don't let it round. And again, if it doesn't feel athletic, it probably isn't. The last lift we're going to do is an RDL, which stands for Romanian deadlift. Some people call it a stiff-legged deadlift. Now the reason I've included this instead of a standard deadlift is this lift is easier on your body. You're able to do it more frequently, and we are going to be doing this workout 3 days a week. Deadlifting 3 days a week can get a bit strenuous, so we're going to be doing this, which builds many of the same muscles, and in fact for golf, I believe it's a better alternative to a deadlift, unless you're a bit more advanced, which we will get into that in a minute. The goal of this workout is to increase the weights each time you lift, if possible. Now, some of these you are going to be getting used to the movement, so maybe shoot for increasing the weight each week and do the same exact weight for the 3 different workouts. Get used to the movement, get used to the range of motion. These things are going to be far more important than the amount of weight on the bar. I have seen so many people who have stagnated for years doing the exact same weight in the exact same motion, but they were doing it improperly, and so they weren't actually building the muscle they thought they were. I want you to get these movement downs, watch those videos as many times as you need to for how to do the movements, but you're going to be adding weight, but more importantly, perfecting the movement. Now you're going to do this for the first year of training. We can change it slightly, but honestly, this is enough to get you through your first year of training. We want to get you to the point where you are able to at least squat your body weight, at least deadlift your body weight, preferably at least 1.25 to 1.5 times your body weight. That's more appropriate before we swap into the more advanced training. And for push press, if you can get about 0.75 times your body weight, that's excellent. Better is, your full body weight. That is quite hard, especially the larger you get, so shoot for that 0.5 to 0.75 for a push press. If we were doing bench press, I would say about your body weight, but more importantly than bench press is the push press for golf. Now for those of you who are in this first year of training, your diet is going to look different than those who are a bit more advanced. Honestly, what I want you to do is two things. One, I want you to make sure you're getting 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to eat 200 grams of protein every single day. And the second is eat until you're full. Don't fill up on sugar and junk, but you are going to be a little extra hungry because this is new for your body. And honestly, to build that muscle, you just want to eat until that hunger is satisfied. Again, don't go crazy because you'll be putting on too much weight, but it is going to be probably 300 to 500 calories more than you're used to. And don't worry about that. Make sure you eat to that. If you are gaining too much weight, scale it back. But honestly, if you're focusing on getting that protein, it's going to be hard to overeat on junk. And honestly, you are going to feel much better as you eat to that hunger that you have. Now on to the second group. This group here, as I mentioned before, you've been training for more than a year and you can squat and deadlift 1.5 times your body weight. You can bench press your body weight or push press about 0.75 times your body weight. For those of you in this group, we are going to swap your training. Likely you've been training more strength type training, kind of what we've been talking about before, probably in different splits, but you focused on the strength as well as hypertrophy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch you into more explosive type training. So the problem with addressing this on a YouTube video is that there are so many different ways that we can set this up. What we're going to do instead of walking through all the different variations is I'm actually just going to walk you through my current program. That way you can see my mindset behind training and perhaps create your own program, and or you can just copy my program exactly. So for my program, I have swapped. I went from 4 days training a week down to 3 days. And why I did that is this type of training is very demanding on the body, and I do have stresses outside of just playing golf and working out. I do create content, I watch my boys, I have stresses at work. There are different things that take me away from just training, eating, and sleeping. And when you have those things to consider, less often is more. And in this case, I believe that 3 days a week is the best amount of training that I can do. So each of these 3 days are based on one of the Olympic lifts. So Monday is jerks. I start with a push press. I do use the reverse pyramid training still, but I've bumped down the number of reps. So I'll start with 4, then I move to 6, then I move to 8 for push press. Then I move to jerks, which currently I'm doing on the minute jerks. So I have 15 sets every minute on the minute. So at 0, I do a jerk, wait until the 1 minute mark, do a second, wait till the 2 minute mark, do a third, and I do that 15 times. You can just do 5 sets of 3, you can do 3 sets of 5, whatever you prefer. But the important thing here to remember is that we're working on our explosive strength. And so for me, I like the on the minute reps because what that does is it allows a short rest time, and then we're able to move into that explosive movement, and you're able to do each and every single rep perfectly. The problem that most people have with the Olympic lifts is they do too many reps, they do them too quickly, they do them too heavily, and they're not really focusing on perfect movement, which gets them hurt and or doesn't train the movement properly. So again, I will include videos down below so that you know how to do a jerk as well as a clean and a snatch. Each of those are important movements. They are very complicated, so move into this slowly if you've never done these before. Please do not get hurt. I do not want you to not be able to golf because you have hurt yourself in the gym. So after I do jerks, I don't use reverse pyramid training on any of the Olympic lifts. It is those singles and or low reps. After that, I move on to accessories. And so for Monday's accessories, I do dumbbell flies because chest really isn't getting worked much in any of these lifts. I want to make sure that that body part doesn't fall behind. And then after that, I do move into accessories. So accessories, really, I just choose shoulders, biceps, triceps, forearms. something that maybe is lagging for you. These can change based on your weaknesses. You know, really these should be focused on either your biceps, your triceps, your shoulders, some accessory movement that helps you to build up your weaknesses. For me, one of my biggest weaknesses is actually my core strength, which is a problem when it comes to golf and or really any sport. And so I do start with some kettlebell front squats, and I only use one kettlebell, so it pulls me off awkwardly to one side. I have to, you know, resist the rotation as well as bending to that one side. So really I'm doing reps based on core strength there. It's not really to help my front squat at all. I can front squat significantly more than I can do with a single kettlebell front squat. After that, I do move on to dumbbell flies, and these are done in an alternating fashion. I'll do my front squats, and then I'll do my dumbbell flies, and then I'll rest. So I did choose dumbbell flies because my chest really is not getting worked in this program, and I do want to maintain the size and strength that I do have. Next, on Wednesday, I start with heavy back squats. Again, it's that same 4, 6, 8. And on back squats, for the more advanced lifter, what you want to focus on is squat speed, so control down and explode up. And then you're not going to squat to complete failure. I want that 4 to be a weight that you could have lifted 5 times. I don't want you to actually fail at 4. This is really taxing on your body when you're squatting, you know, 250, 350, 400 pounds. So make sure that you are doing these lifts in an explosive manner and stopping just 1 rep before you feel like you can't do anymore. After that, I move on to hang cleans, which are done in the same fashion as the jerks. These will alternate from on the minute to, you know, sets of 3, sets of 2, whatever it is that that block has prescribed. Right now I am on the minute, so I'm doing 15 singles of hang cleans. And again, make sure you're doing good movement. If you've never done hang cleans before, do not go after heavy weight. We want proper movement, and we want it done explosively. So videotape yourself, watch your form, whatever you need to do to make sure you're doing these properly, and even get some training if you need to. There are a lot of good resources on YouTube if you want to watch the proper form for cleans, jerks, and snatches. So after that, I do move on to my accessories, and my accessories on Wednesdays are chin-ups as well as ring dips. So accessories are done in a fashion where they're done for a pump or to failure. So for example, chin-ups, I'll use my weakest variation first. I'll do 1 set to failure, and then I move on to ring dips and I'll do 1 set to failure. The next set of chin-ups, I move to a stronger grip. Again, I do a set to failure, and then I do the dips to failure. And I do this 3 times, and this is done for all of the accessory movements. It's done to failure and or pump. And really what that means is you're using an easy variation and you're just trying to really get that muscle working and really feel it. Fridays, I do a Jefferson deadlift. Now I've chosen this lift because I really want to work that core strength like I mentioned earlier, and the anti-rotation of a Jefferson lift is something that I need to work on. You can see what a Jefferson lift is in the links below, but this isn't necessarily something I would recommend. I would recommend maybe starting with RDLs, something like that, maybe clean pulls. You can put any pull movement you want in here, but please do not max out on deadlift because you're about to do some Olympic lifts, and if you've maxed your lower back already on deadlift, it's not going to go well. So if you're going to do just a normal deadlift variation, do it for speed. So lift the weight quickly, and that way you are using a lighter weight, probably 20 to 30% lower than what you would normally, and you're focused on the speed and the explosion that we are looking for when training for golf. After that, we are going to do hang snatches, which again for me is on the minute. And then my accessories for Fridays are a shoulder complex as well as tricep extensions. Now my shoulder complex is just reverse flies, then lateral raises, and then I do a Y raise. Now this is just to really pump up my shoulders, really get those connective tissues working and get that blood in there so that they can heal well. Working your shoulders is important, especially on a golf program, so this is one that I really love. And then tricep extensions to help keep that size and strength in my triceps. Really, this program, the important thing is really to maintain that size and strength that you've already accumulated in that first year or 2 of training and increase it, but really what we're looking to do is take that strength, which is likely a slower strength, likely you've done things under a tempo, and we're going to be pushing that into a very explosive strength, which is very usable for golf as well as many other sports. And honestly, it's just more athletic in my opinion. I feel so much better when I am training explosive movements. You may not feel the same, but for your golf game, having that explosive strength and training that way will increase your drives, will increase all of your distances, and it'll help you to remain injury-free as you are doing those explosive movements in golf. Well, gentlemen, I know this was a longer video. It was a different video. Let me know if you did like this one. If you did, I will be doing more golf content. If you don't, please let me know as well. I want to make sure that I'm making the content you guys are looking for. But until next time, gentlemen, stay muscular and stay stylish.